speaking of social media and support, Baldwin and his wife Hilaria are making news there. They have decided to delete their Twitter accounts in the aftermath of last week's ABC interview that Alec's fans really mostly seem to have liked, really. And then other people found self-serving or puzzling, and some people just thought it was wrong altogether. One reviewer took particular issue with this part.
I've been told by people who are in the know in terms of even inside the state that it's highly unlikely I would be charged with anything criminally.
Well, not so fast, because over the weekend, Mary Carmack Altwies, who's the Santa Fe County District Attorney, she told TMZ that Baldwin should not assume anything. And I'm going to quote her now. She said, everybody involved in the handling and use of firearms on the set had a duty to behave in a manner such that the safety of others was protected. And she went on to say, once I have had the opportunity to review the complete investigation, certain individuals may be criminally culpable. For his part, the lawyer for Rust's head gaffer, whose name is Serge Svetnoy, well, that lawyer is blasting Baldwin's primetime network TV appearance as, quote, misguided and an attempt for sympathy. Svetnoy filed one of the two civil suits to arise so far from the deadly shooting. And on ABC, Baldwin said he found both suits unsettling, coming before any action from the cinematographer's own family. Joining me now with insights and expertise on all of this are the reputation doctor himself, Mike Paul, and once again, the formidable Mark O'Mara. Okay, Mike Paul, so good to see you. First of all, I haven't seen you in a long time. What do you think, net plus or net minus for Alec Baldwin doing that interview?
I'd give him a C, maybe a C minus for the interview overall. Look, where he made the mistakes was constantly giving an answer as though he's talking to the court of law, to a judge or a jury. But we're examining this through opinion, where, as you and I know, there are hundreds of stakeholders, not just 12 or 1. So for whatever gain he thought he had by not answering a question like, oh, I'm not guilty, I don't feel guilty, he had a lot of loss by not showing his heart. Whenever I am counseling a client similar to him in this kind of a situation, I'm telling them less head work, more heart work. You need to make sure you're pulling at heartstrings with authenticity and humility and having some transparency whenever you can to make sure that you're building the ultimate currency back, which is trust.
Yeah, super smart. It's a hard rope to walk, though, because with all that heart and authenticity, you could say something that's really dumb. And to that, Mark O'Mara, I do want to ask you about Serge Svetnoy's attorney, who said this on Fox News: when I take Mr. Baldwin's deposition in the civil case, I will play this interview on the record and cross-examine him on his statements line by line under oath. And I can think of a couple things, just this off the bat. He was asked, are you a producer or not? And he said, well, I'm a producer of what? Scripting and casting. But then a second later, he says, and I'm helping with the hotel rooms when they weren't happy about it. So do you think that was not the right thing to do, Mark O'Mara?
It's just never the right thing to do, to go on camera when you have the potential of a criminal case pending. Obviously, if you've been charged, never do it. Listen to your lawyer, who would never advise that. But no, I guess he thought that he needed to do this because the currency that was just spoken about is his reputation, and he wanted to try and luster that up. But no, I don't think I would give him no better than a C or a C minus, because you don't want to say anything about any criminal case pending, even though I don't think he's going to end up being charged when we get down to it. Don't ever challenge a prosecutor that her case better than she does. There was no benefit whatsoever, and there could be some negative, certainly in the civil case as well, as was just talked about. He will be cross-examined on every word of what he said on camera.
Yeah, that's even so smart to say don't challenge a prosecutor. And also, if you're a prosecutor, don't give a press conference before you've apprehended the parents you're looking for is a whole story. So, okay, Mike Paul, the Baldwins said they gave up Twitter, which, if you don't know the recent history, it's the third time they've given up Twitter this year. And also, they quit Twitter in 2011, in 2012, in 2013, in 2017. And then they told New York Magazine in 2014 they were quitting public life entirely. with all that, I get it. It's a bit of a tantrum, but there are all the headlines right there, so you can just see that I'm not just making it up. He is going to resume public life in, I think, a really good way with the Robert F. Kennedy Ripple Effect Awards. Do you think that's the right way to reenter public life? Or, I mean, it's all coming at the same as the Twitter nonsense.
Well, first of all, we know that when you delete a Twitter account, that doesn't mean that others have not already taken screen grabs of some of the worst things that have appeared in your Twitter feed. So that's one. And you just raise the price and the currency of those negative things that you had on Twitter before that somebody has saved against you. Regarding the RFK dinner, I'm a little close to this. Kerry Kennedy I've known for a long time. Other people who have worked for her over the years. Great award. The question is it Alec to be there? He's the MC. The Vice President of the United States is also invited. Other dignitaries that are associated with the award will also be there. Do you want to shake Alec Baldwin's hand at this event? Do you want to be associated with the negatives that he has? We've heard that he's going to be skipping the press gauntlet on the way in for the paparazzi as well as press questions. He's going to come in through the back door, supposedly, and just MC. I have worked events like this where there have been people in crisis where I've steered my client away from them and said, too many other people to take a picture with. It's not the time for somebody else to spin and turn a picture that could seem innocent into you agreeing with everything that Alex said in that interview or anything he might say in the future with this incident. Not worth it.
You know, you're so good at what you do, Mike Paul. I think it's University of Albany, right?
Please tell Chris I said hello.
I was just going to say, I don't know if you know this, but you went to school with my husband. He told me beforehand. And I said, how about that? Okay, so thank you, Mike Paul and Mark O'Mara, as always. You know, just brilliant. Thank you. Appreciate it, both of you.